there's ways the Lakers can make a trade to improve with just having to shed 1.3. They could make a trade, improve their roster, and get out of the tax.
Sure. If you're sending out a $14 million player for an $18 million player, you get under there.
Yeah. So
Or a $15.7 million player for a $19 million player.
well, and what Bobby's referring to here is a possible Dejounte Murray trade. It doesn't take high level cap mechanics to figure out how the Lakers could trade for Dejounte Murray, get that contract that you talked about, a guy on a favorable deal based on the machinations, and get out of the luxury tax, which would save them. I don't know.
They'll be like New Orleans. Look at that $14 million.
Plus, like in the repeater, being over a million is like, it being somewhere in the neighborhood of 15, 16 million.
Yep.
So, 15 million to the Lakers, they can find uses for that. I remember years and years ago, I always tell these stories, Bobby. I know people probably get bored of them, but years and years ago when Dr. Buss was still alive, I remember the Lakers made like a deadline trade where I think it was Chris Mim. They traded Chris Mim to save $3 million. And I remember saying to somebody, why would they do that? Why would the Lakers need another $3 million? And they're like, that's $3 more million for Jerry Buss to take to the tables in Vegas. And it was a joke, but like, that's true. Like if the Lakers make an extra $6 million, each one of the 6 Buss kids gets an extra $1 million. I don't know what to tell you. That's just the way it is. I'm not saying they make decisions based on that, sure. But when you look at the possibility of trading your roster, improving your roster, and saving $15 million, it might make it a little easier for them to include a draft pick, a first rounder.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like if you were 10 million over the luxury tax and like, when you're in that like that 1 to 4 range, there are, there are deals out there to get you under, and there's nothing wrong with, saving $14 million. I think what the interesting thing is, and I heard you guys talk about this on the last podcast, is the Dejounte Murray trade bonus, right?
Yes, please bring this up to me because you said something to me about this that
it's the highest in the NBA. 13.
Is it the highest ever?
I have to go look at a note. You know what? I think it could be. I have to go look at my notes, and people have to realize, like, and you guys have said it, guys with max contracts have trade bonuses in there, but there's rules in place where the bonus can't exceed the max allowed. So if there was never a rule in place, then yeah, these guys would have their trade bonus would be like $30 million and stuff, because it's the percentage of what is owed on the salary here. So as of today, the Murray trade bonus is $13.4 million. It's the most in the NBA. Second is Anthony Davis at $12.9 million, 2 Clutch players. So Clutch likes to put trade bonuses in his contract. Here's the interesting thing when you go look at the Dejounte Murray trade bonus. When Murray did his extension with San Antonio, rookie extension, the trade bonus was not in there. It was a straight deal. However, when he did his rookie extension, they opened up the San Antonio contract and amended that and added a trade bonus in that contract. And they added put a trade bonus in the rookie and this new extension. So he's getting the bonus on what's left this year. And he's also getting the bonus on what is owed to him over the next 4 seasons here. So it's like he got
opened up the contract. How is that allowed?
They amended it. They amended it to add a bonus. It's, you're allowed to, you can do that there. So they add an exhibit 4 with the trade bonus. It's at 13.4 million. If he's traded, let's say we get off this podcast and he's traded, you can negotiate, right? You can negotiate it down, and you can, that's a lot of money though. Going to LA, taxes, right?
Yeah,
it's spread out over 4 years. You don't include the last year, which is a player option as far as adding. So $3.4 million would be added to each year. Atlanta pays the bonus, but for cap purposes, that number gets added to that, that 18 and change number that Murray has.
Does Atlanta have to give him the full $13 million now, or they just pay it over the next 3 years?
Two installments. So here's your big picture. And I know like you're not supposed to look back on trades that happened. Okay. So we're going to pay this guy 13.4 million. And then you know what? Next year we're going to send that unprotected 25 to San Antonio, and then unprotected swap in 26 and unprotected in 27 here. So if you're Atlanta, you're trying to recoup as much. You're not getting what you gave up, right? Like that didn't happen. So you're trying to recoup as much as you can before you're kind of moving off him.
Right. But so all the other thing is that Dejounte Murray's cap number changes going forward. So you were talking about how attractive he is at 19 or 20 million on your books. But then even though the Lakers don't have to pay that extra 3 million a year, he hits their books with the extra three. Well, I don't mean to sound like the Lakers have him. Team X trades for him. I know the Nets are a team.
Well, yeah, I mean, he goes from a $25 million player next year to a $28 million guy. Right. Then he's going to be 30, then 31. Like that nice.
Right. So whatever team would have interest in trading for him, that he becomes a little bit more onerous on their cap. However, if you're a team like the Lakers and you save $15 million in the transaction, you can kind of put that in an interest-bearing account and say, okay, if we have to pay tax on this extra money over the next 3 years, we did save 15 million when we got him. And that, again, I don't want to make it seem like he's definitely going to be a Laker. Because I think that was one thing that Woj was talking about last week, is it's not just the Lakers bidding. But the more I look at this Dejounte Murray situation, even if he's not the absolute perfect fit for the Lakers, I do think it makes more sense as I talk about it, why they would be interested in that trade.